The best school for in Paris. Even in England, they would go to Paris to learn how to draw. So the best British artists from the Royal Academy studied in Paris. Paris was the artistic center of the 19th century. This is an example that comes from Sweden, of all places. I love his work, Anders Zorn. Of course, he had classical training, but a typical training in Paris would take 8 years full-time. You heard me right. It's not 1 hour a week, as it's nowadays in fine art schools. If they teach drawing at all, it's usually 3 hours a week. If they teach drawing at all, I repeat. At the Julien Academy, for the first year, you would only copy templates. You would only copy similar to the Bargue templates you just saw. Unless you learn how to draw, it's a waste of time to have painting lessons. Of course, in the 21st century, we don't know any of that, obviously. I say the 20th century was the century of science. We had a huge advancement in scientific knowledge, but artistically, it was a tragedy. We almost destroyed 700 years of accumulated classical knowledge in the West. So, after years of just drawing, you were allowed to paint, yes, only black and white. Then you were allowed to color, yes. Do you know which colors? Warm gray or cool gray, like brownish grays or bluish grays. Until you learn that it's actually color temperature that creates the illusion of reality, not the exact color you paint, but it's the relationship between color temperatures. Until you learn that, it's a waste of time to use colors because you don't know what you're doing. It's all about color temperature relationships and very fine relationships for that matter. Let me say something about black and white. All those years before, until you learn how to draw shapes, there is no point about painting, because you'll make a mess. Until you learn then to turn shape in space exclusively with black and white, there is no point in using paints, because you will not be able to achieve the three-dimensionality or the illusion of perspective, or so many things that are much more important than using paint. Finally, until you learn that emotion can be created exclusively with black and white, you can make an image deliberately much darker than reality to make it moody. Or you can make it much paler than reality to make it dreamy and ethereal. You can make it more contrasted than reality to make it dramatic. Or you can make it less contrasted than reality to make it soft. Until you learn to control emotions exclusively with black and white, why are you using color? You would be much better at color if first you learned how to control emotions with simpler means. What is nowadays called the Zorn palette. Anders Zorn carried on for the rest of his career painting almost exclusively with that palette. Do you know what that palette consists of? Only 4 colors. So you only squeeze 4 colors on your palette. Get ready. Black, white. You are still using black and white. Oh, by the way, you remember what your art teacher told you, never use black. I'm just showing you that the best painters in history, they spent years working exclusively with black and white. And even when color was introduced, black and white were still the 2 most important colors. So, the Zorn palette, black, white, yellow ochre, not even bright yellow. So, a yellow-brown, and finally, the only bright color, vermilion, red. Where is the blue? We don't have the primary colors even. The blue is made by mixing black and white. In a context where all the colors are kind of yellowish or inkish, if you put a gray, a pure gray in the middle, it reads as blue by the human eyes. So until you learn that you can create the illusions of colors even if you don't have those colors there, it's a waste of time to be using all the colors in your palette. Because you would be much more powerful if you knew how to use color. The moment the real blue is introduced, oh yes, you will have maximum powers of color because you know how to use blue. You even know how to create the feeling of blue without blue being there.